Hi 6th graders, welcome back, and we're going to be looking at the last section for this chapter, which is on dividing fractions and mixed numbers. By the end of this lesson, you want to be able to accurately divide fractions and mixed numbers. For a party, I decided I'm going to order some sub sandwiches. The store told me that 1/3 of a sandwich will serve one person. If I have enough money to order 4 subs, how many people can I invite to the party? Alright, so if we look, I'm going to draw my 4 subs out. So here is 1 sub, here is 2 subs, here is 3 subs, here is 4 subs. So I'm going to divide my 4 subs into thirds to figure out how many people I can invite to the party. So to do this, what I'm going to do is I am going to look at what I have. So here I have 1/3, 2, 3/3. So one sub can feed 3 people. So then this would be 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So if I take 4 and I divide it into thirds, I get 12. So what do we notice about dividing the 4 subs into thirds? I notice that my number, or my quotient, is actually bigger than my original number, which is different than what we normally think, because normally when we think about dividing, we think about getting a smaller number. Alright, so just a quick definition. A reciprocal means any 2 numbers with a product of 1. In other words, take a fraction and flip it over to create its reciprocal. They are also called multiplicative inverses. So 2 is actually really 2 over 1, so its reciprocal is 1 over 2. 2/3 flipped over is 3/2, and 1/4 flipped over is 4 over 1. Now watch what happens. 2 times 1 is 2, 1 times 2 is 2, 2 divided by 2 is 1. 2 times 3 is 6, 3 times 2 is 6, 6 divided by 6 is 1. 1 times 4 is 4, 4 times 1 is 4, 4 divided by 4 is 1. So whenever you take a number and multiply by its reciprocal, you always get an answer of 1. So now let's look at another example and see how that's going to come into play. What if I had the 4 party subs again and decided that each person should get 3/4 of a sub? Then how many people could I serve? Alright, so I'm going to start with my 4 subs again. So here's 1, here's 2, here's 3, and here's 4. So now they get 3/4 of a sub. So now instead of thirds, I'm going to divide my subs into fourths. So every 3/4, I'm going to have 1 person served. So here would be 1 person. Okay. Then I'm going to use the 1 left over fourth and take 2/4 from the next one, and that would be 3/4, so that'll be 2 people. Now I have my 2 from here and my 1 from the next sub, so that would be 3 people. Here's 3/4 left, that would be 4 people. So remember, I'm taking 4 and I'm dividing it by 3/4. And now I have 1 here, so that would be 5 people with it's 1/4 left over, but it's 1/3 of a serving. So I was able to serve 5 people with 1/3 of a serving left, because 1 serving is 3/4, and we have 1/4 left, so 1/4 of 3/4 would be 1/3. Okay. So what do you think you notice here looking at this? Okay. We don't want to have to draw a picture every time. So if you look at it as 4 over 1, if I was going to multiply it by the reciprocal of our second fraction, which is 4 over 3, I would end up with 16/3. 3 goes into 16 5 times with 1 left over. So we get 5 and 1/3. So if we have 2/3 divided by 3/8, it becomes 2/3 times 8/3 because we're multiplied by the reciprocal. 2 times 8 is 16, 3 times 3 is 9. 9 goes into 16 once with 5 left over. So now you go ahead and try the next one by yourself. So we have 1/4 times 8/3. Now you could just multiply straight across, so we have 8/12. Both of these are divisible by 4, so then we get 2/3. So divide fractions, we multiply by the reciprocal of the second number. So if by a fraction you must divide, then flip the second and multiply. Let's look at a couple of word problems really quickly. The adult average male panda weighs about 1 1/5 times as much as the adult female. If the adult female panda weighs 330 pounds, how much does the average female adult weigh? So since the male panda weighs about 1 1/5 times, we have to take 330 and divide it by 1 1/5. Well, just like when we were multiplying, we have to make sure we change our mixed numbers into improper fractions. So this is really 330 divided by 6/5, or 330 times 5/6. So if we do this, we have 330 times 5 is 1,650, and then 6 times 1 is 6, so now I'm going to do 1,650 divided by 6, and I get 275 pounds. So now you go ahead and pause the video and try the next one on your own. The presentation basketball team has 16.5 boxes of wrapping paper to sell to raise money for the team. If selling is split evenly among 12 players, how many boxes should each player sell? So we're going to take 16.5 and divide it by the 12 players. So 16.5 becomes 2 times 16, which is 32 plus 1, so 32 halves, divided by 12/1, which is really the same thing as 33 halves times 1/12, because we're going to do the reciprocal. 33 times 1 is 33, 2 times 12 is 24. 3 goes into both. So 33 divided by 3 is 11. 24 divided by 3 is 8. 8 goes into 11 one time with 3 left over. So each person will be responsible for selling 1 3/8 boxes of wrapping paper.